Hey everyone, I want to show you a video here. I was watching Greg Laurie's Southern California Harvest the other night, and he interviewed Alice Cooper and showed the interview. And Alice Cooper is actually a really serious Christian. He was a preacher's kid. You know Alice Cooper, the rocker? You know, school's out forever. Well, watch this interview here.
I had been awake for about 4 or 5 days, and I was up on the top of Beverly Hills in my big mansion. I had a pipe, my cocaine, and a pistol. Whoa. You can have anything you want. It's the most unfulfilling thing there is. And I'm sitting there going, this is it. And yet, Satan uses it.
Alice, at one point, you were the #1 rock star in the world.
The band accidentally took off. We were the band that wasn't supposed to ever have a hit. Yeah, we were not Peace and Love. We were the other side. And I grew up church Friday night, Wednesday night, Sunday, all day Sunday.
Yeah.
I went as far away as you could get, and we partied harder than anybody. Any drug addict will tell you that drug becomes like oxygen. If you don't have it, you'll sell everything in your house to get it. You're always going to be trying to fill that hole with something. It's either going to be drugs, or it's going to be Ferraris, or it's going to be houses, or wives, or fame, and you're never going to achieve it. But there comes that point in your life where you go, what is this about? You know, is this really it? It can't be. And I think that's when you start hearing the Lord knocking.
Amazing story. I've gotten to know Alice Cooper pretty well, and boy, I tell you what, he's the real deal. And his life has been transformed. Let me tell you a story.
Okay.
A true story.
So,
a genie appeared to a woman.
all right, that was Greg Laurie's Harvest Crusade, and he interviewed the rocker Alice Cooper, right? You know Alice Cooper. And us from the 70s, we know Alice Cooper, and some younger people do too, because he still sells out concerts in halls, and he's still playing shows all over the world. But he's a serious Christian. But there was a time in his life, Alice grew up in the church. He was a pastor's kid. He was a preacher's kid, and he ran as far away from it as he could, and ran into the rock and roll lifestyle. Alice Cooper was at the top of his game, just like he said. He was a rock star, and frankly, he still is. You know, he had #1 hits. School's Out Forever. I mean, that was a huge hit when I was in high school and college. He was drawing massive crowds. He had everything. You heard the story. He had a huge mansion in the Hollywood Hills. He was driving Ferraris. He had all the women he could possibly want, but then, you know, he was also doing a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol, drinking, partying all the time. And then he finally, at the top of the hill in his gigantic mansion all by himself, and he said, "Is this all there is?" And he had his cocaine and stuff on one side and a pistol in the other. He was despondent because he had left the one thing that could have fulfilled him, and that was Jesus. And so there's the story of a guy who grew up in the church, Alice Cooper, the famous rocker. You know, some of you younger people, millennials, and and others may not know who I'm talking about, but he was a massive rock star in the 70s, as big as anything you'd see today. I remember that, sorry, I'm going to have to, but anyway, I want to read a scripture to you, and it's from the Bible. I'll pull it up real quick here. And Jesus talks about this very thing. And he said, what if a man has everything he could possibly want? Every material thing, houses, cars, women, money, fame, people, people adore you. But you're missing the one thing, and that is your soul. What would it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? That's the scripture I want to talk about. Matthew 16, 26, 25, 26, and 27. For whoever wants to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. What will it profit a man if he gains the whole world, yet forfeits his soul? Or what can a man give in exchange for his soul? For the Son of Man will come in his Father's glory with his angels, and then he will repay each one according to what he has done. Did you get that? What will it profit a man if he gains the whole world, yet forfeits his soul? Okay? I mean, that's talking about people like Alice Cooper. And today, people do the same thing today. They have fame, they have money, just like Alice Cooper, huge rock star, #1 hit in the world at that time when I was a teenager, but he was empty inside. What will a man gain if he has the whole world but loses his soul? And that's exactly what Satan tempted Jesus with. He tempted Jesus up when Jesus had been in the desert for 40 days, and then he went up to a high hill, and Satan was right there with him, and he said, I can give you all of this. I can give you the world. I can give you kingdoms, money, fame, anything you want if you will worship me. And Jesus said, don't tempt the Lord your God, and get behind me. Get away from me, Satan. So Satan left. And so Jesus addressed this very question. Alice Cooper was at the top of his game. There's rock stars like that today. There are young ones coming up, rappers, pop stars. You hear all these famous pop stars and you go, oh, I want that lifestyle. I'd love to be rich and famous. That would be so awesome. Everybody would love me. But if you lose your soul over that, you've lost everything. And some people have traded that. They've made a deal with Satan, whether they know it or not. They've traded their soul for this fame and money, and it's all empty. And you heard Alice Cooper talking about that. He had it all. But then he turned back, like the prodigal son. Alice Cooper turned back to the faith that he had as a child, and he found the Lord again. And that's what we need to do. Stay focused on Christ, not on the money and fame and power and mansions and Ferraris and Lamborghinis and gold chains and rappers and rock stars with 15 women around them, and you go, oh, that's it, man, that's the lifestyle, that's what I want. But it's actually not. They've sold their soul. They've lost their soul. They're losing their life. But Alice Cooper figured it out, and I pray to God that some of you figure that out before it's too late. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say this evening, but I'll play out, and then I hope everyone has a good evening. good evening.